Thanks, man. Let me play this intro for these fine people here. Hello, everyone. God knows at what point this stream got picked up, but off the bat, 0 drop frames. We had a good one yesterday. So let me get these other platforms fired up other than YouTube here. Bear with me one moment. We will be right back. Hello, YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. We should be good there. I see, yes, YouTube should be up. Oh, man, so apparently things seem to be working. No idea why. Let me drop down here our nice, fun song, and then we'll get into it. Hello, chat. Oh, missed the transition on the song. Sorry about that. Oh, there's some fun test chats up there. Interesting. Starting with Adam Awesome, I saw your chat that you'd like to be a delegate from New Jersey if it is open. The open is irrelevant. You can always join a state that already has a delegate, just FYI. Today we are joined by one such delegate from South Carolina, Zeb Boykin. Welcome, Zeb.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Glad to be a delegate.
Because we've had so much BS with this stream, everybody in the chat, just let me know that you can hear. You should be able to hear Zeb just fine. And you should not have double audio on him. So I'm going to throw the chat buck here 1 sec. Say hi one more time, Zeb, just for the audio.
Hello. Welcome, world champions.
I see a 5x5. Jay Growler, 2 days in a row. How about them apples? And your X chat even showed up. Good morning, beep boop from the bots. Welcome, bots. Last chat I see is Electric Dog 5x5. So the question is, he's fine, I see. Yes, here I'm fine. Now that I'm on a mission to make this work, I've managed to spend 2 days in a row looking at it. It sounds great. 0 drop frames. Incredible. Love it. Look at that. If you're a channel member, your chat is now properly highlighted. Loving it. And anything should pop up here. Super chats or anything like that. It should be totally fixed. Genuinely curious how long it'll last, though, before somebody gets a hold of it in Pittsburgh. Zeb, do you think they're going to get us today?
Well, I don't know. I think they caught on eventually yesterday a little bit, but I think we can outwork them.
So I hear the South Carolina in your voice. Massive respect. Always from there? Always from the South? What's your superhero origin story?
Born and raised northern South Carolina, about hour from Myrtle Beach, but recently moved out of that city for good reason and enjoying it so far.
Are you off in some sort of homestead right now?
No, it's actually a very, very old neighborhood. The house is pretty old, 1940s, I believe, and it's got the plaster walls with the mesh wiring. So there's no internet that goes through the walls, and so before this, I had to hard line in, but
I feel your pain on that. I think I'm gonna have
these houses are definitely built different, for sure.
South Carolina, hot. Not. It's kind of a wet state. I know Pennsylvania's a super wet state. Does it rain a lot down there?
Um, it's not no the rain's not bad. It's definitely always humid though.
This is the
And like I
engineer in me talking. Like, do you have to account for that kind of shit?
well I so yes.
Yeah.
We live on a swamp, so under the house is always wet, so we have a barrier and then we
Yeah,
have
there
a
you go.
dehumidifier. But typically no, I mean if you're not on the swamp then there's no issue.
Very good. I know a few people down there in South Carolina. The big South Carolina guys, to my knowledge, in Republican politics. So you have the governor is McMaster, but the far more interesting one is Lindsey Graham.
Oh boy,
Did you
Lindsey
know I
Graham.
was going to say it?
Oh dude, well yeah, I mean he's just been there so long. He's so vocal. He's so all over the place. Typically with politicians, if you get a consistent politician, their name doesn't really come up. But the issue is the inconsistency, and Lindsey Graham is definitely known for it. So
Yeah, he
he's
seems
made a
for
name.
he seems for sale.
Well, which one isn't?
That's a fair point. What
Which
about
one isn't?
Gowdy? Is Trey Gowdy still running around down there?
Um, well, he's from South Carolina, obviously, but I'm not sure.
He
I'm
was.
not sure if he's still. I haven't even seen him
Yeah, I haven't
in the last
either.
what four
He
years or
was
so.
so prominent
La-
a few.
Ladybug Lindsay. Yeah, that's exactly right. Have you heard that story?
Ladybug Lindsay in the
Yeah.
chat.
Oh, it's brutal,
Oh
man.
man, I haven't heard it, but I never want to look at his asshole, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I've heard it.
Okay.
All right, I'll tell this.
Uh,
I'll bear the brunt of it. I'll tell the story and then I'll come back to you. Lindsey Graham, if you don't know, wait, let me give credit to the person who pointed this out. Hold on.
I think it was Lauren Witzke.
I see Sho Sugino, Ladybug Lindsay.
Oh,
Somebody
I
above that.
think I think Lauren Witzke actually did
Oh, like the original?
the original reveal
Yeah,
of
there
it.
was supposedly some prostitute or something that had a story of got hired by Lindsey Graham and he wanted her to lick his butthole. Or was it a dude? Was it a dude prostitute? Or was it a woman?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
man. Oh, it was a man. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
They're
So
all they're
Lindsey
all fishy.
Graham,
They're
the
all gay.
mainstream one everybody knows is that he's probably gay. But so anyway, he hired some male prostitute to do various things he enjoys to his butt, and his butt is apparently covered in brown moles that he calls his ladybugs. You're on screen right now. I'm
Well,
just getting
as
your
the story goes,
reaction.
and I guess there's one way to verify that, but I don't know who wants to
Yeah, who's gonna take
take
that
that one
job?
on.
But yeah, so Lindsey Graham occupies this very weird space, and then he was just in Ukraine. You know what I mean? Like he's so technically he's what, a senator, I believe.
Yes, he's a senator.
Okay, so but he seems to be involved in doing stuff that is more intelligence community type jobs. Is that just me?
Well, yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, he's been around a while, and a lot of these politicians that have been around a while, they get their hands in the international affairs. And Ukraine is a hotspot for money laundering.
Yep.
To name one of the many. And as we stated at the beginning, I mean, he's there to be bought, just like a lot of them are. So,
Yeah. So are you approaching all of this from a not happy with what my home state has turned into, keeping it local, that kind of thing? I know you obviously care about the whole Trump main
um,
federal thing, but is South Carolina going downhill? Because Pennsylvania definitely is.
I don't know what's not going downhill, but I do think that South Carolina is staying afloat more than others. Um, but yeah, I think the future is localization, and I'm doing an interview Friday with a guy that's running for the state senate. And so that's going to be my thing going forward is trying to get localization going on. So try to get away from national politics as much as we can because I think the battle is easier won at the local level, whether that's state or
Well, yeah, for
city
sure.
or
And then,
county.
you win the local battles, the national one will kind of take care of
It'll
itself
just
as
follow.
far. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a time frame there too. I mean, obviously, we can all vote on general election for the presidency, but all of these. Well, you had somebody on not too recently on voter fraud, and on a national level, it's worse than it is on the local level, but it is bad on the local level. So it's more likely that there are going to be battles won in the short term on the local level than there is on the national
Yeah,
scale.
let me talk about that for a second because that is happening on our end. I believe we just filed a lawsuit. Is my understanding. I'm not on the legal side of it, but yeah, we've already found fake votes, illegally counted, ballot drop boxes that have appeared with votes already in them. But on a national level, we don't know people's names, faces, addresses, families, things like that. We just don't know. We can't even get to the people in the state that are in, the Pennsylvania havens or I'm sorry, Pittsburgh and Philly. But what we definitely can do in our tiny little podunk town that we've mapped every square inch of for hundreds of years is find these local people that are cheating, and we've found them and started up the lawsuit. It's this whole game, and exactly as you would imagine, you have the at the county level they're cheating. You take that a step higher. Okay, well these people are obviously cheating. Here's proof. What do we do about it? Well those people are corrupt, and the people above them are corrupt, and the people above them are corrupt.
Oh, there's absolutely an enforcement issue also.
A huge enforcement issue.
How big is your town, if you would say? I mean, just keep a guesstimate.
Like the town or the voting district,
The
you mean?
the voting block that you're having issues
I
in.
believe it's around 40,000.
Okay, so that's about where I came from was at. Another issue on top of what y'all discussed, which was more of in the way of date issues and I guess addresses and everything else, actual fraudulent ballots. We had, say we, I moved this issue where, and I call it infrastructure, voting infrastructure, where they've built over time. They have a list of people that they'll go out and they'll essentially bus in, and they don't even have to vote. And so basically what they can do is they can say that they're there and allow someone else to vote for them. And so that's what they do to an extent is they bus people in, they bring them to the registration office and they vote essentially for them.
Let's see what they
And
are.
so when you're looking at a city or a town of 40,000 people and you have uh I don't know, it's probably somewhere between 600 votes head start before you even start voting that they can pick up. It's like, how do you make up that difference?
Yeah, well, what we've learned, so the scale of the local cheating is quite small. They did a test run, is basically what they've done so far. But this same person is running this for at least 20 counties, we know, at least. Um,
Right.
though,
It's not the scale at the local level. I
well,
mean
it's like
that
the
is an
amount
issue,
of cheating you need
obviously.
to do at a local level in a county to win the state of Pennsylvania is actually quite small. And so, like, to
It's
get a
very small.
difference of 30,000 votes in the state, you need probably less than 100 in each county, which is exactly what they're doing. It's actually a
Right.
pretty smart fucking
Now,
plan.
now, now, if you do it on a national level, because the same people that are going to be stealing votes in the local level are going to be voting straight ticket on a national primary or
Yeah.
general election, right? And so you're already getting, let's be conservative at 300, 200, 300 votes, and you got 10,000 or so small cities or maybe more. I don't even know what the number is across the nation. You're looking at what, 400,000 votes.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't understand the scale of the numbers and like how. Sorry, I was reading some chats there too while you were talking because I was.
I mean, I'm lowballing it at that.
Yeah, it doesn't. I think the key point to take away, it doesn't take a lot of cheating to win the entire national election on a local scale. That's exactly what they're doing. They have entrenched their people in our county doesn't really have a lot of positions of power and nobody votes for those elections. So here they are. They've been entrenched when no one was paying attention, and then have just been cheating left and right. The hilarious thing is these are all boomers who know nothing about the internet, and they're like, "Well, no one's gonna find out." And it's like, I mean, it didn't take me very long. So I'm
Yeah,
curious if they're gonna go through with all this and make me pop up out of the bushes at the end of it with the evidence. But I don't know. I might actually go physically show my face to some of these people.
well, I think this was mentioned in your stream also. Is there's a the primaries are a trial run because I don't know more about where you're from, but where we're from, these counties and cities are blue or they're red. There is no purple. And so the primaries are just trial runs for um, the general.
Yep, that's exactly what's happening here. Exactly.
So I mean, they're not even they usually don't even bring out their big guns for the primary, like I said, because they already have it won. Now the guy I'm interviewing Friday, his name is Rodney Berry, and he is running for state senate also. Um, not Lindsey Graham seat, but Kent Williams is who he's running against. And Kent Williams is a Democrat, and Rodney's going to primary him as a Republican. We'll see how that goes. Rodney's very well known in the community, businessman. He's actually spent some time in DC with, don't get mad at me, Tom Rice, but Tom Rice lost his incumbency to Russell Fry because he voted for, somebody said I need a monocle and a kitty to pet. No cats, just dog. Because he voted for Trump's impeachment because he wanted to quote, vote his conscience. But anyway, so we got people like Rodney Berry that are businessmen and they are American person. They want what's better for America and are run on a local level. And I think those should be supported.
My immediate question is, so have you tried to get involved with your local GOP at all? Like the
I was very before I moved. I haven't gotten too involved yet over here.
I'm curious
I'm
like how they look
still
at it.
decently involved over there.
Yeah, I'm curious. I've run into that
the
problem too.
problem
The
with the
GOP.
GOP
Yeah, our legs. I'm gonna shut up and let you talk. Sorry. Go ahead.
the problem with the GOP where I'm from in Dillon is that, like I said, cities and counties are either blue or red, and Dillon on a city and county level is blue, very blue, but they do vote Trump, which is odd. And so the GOP it's not old, given the organization itself isn't long lasting, but there are a lot of boomers in there, take that as you will. But they've actually done a decent bit considering not having funding that it would take to overcome
Yeah,
what's funded on the other
yeah.
side.
The money is tricky. It
What's
honestly
already
is.
entrenched. I mean, you have to overcome
The donors.
well, one, you have to the incumbency, and then you have the infrastructure, the voting
It
infrastructure.
really does work that way. I've run in that to myself as you go meet with the local GOP. We're very lucky. I quite like our local GOP. I think a lot of people aren't lucky that way, but they are beholden to the money, who does what they want to do.
Well, they're a business like everybody else. Too.
Right, exactly. And you always feel a bit naive when you realize that when you start getting involved. But of course, it's not something to be mad about. And a business will respond to pressure from people that use that. A cult religion will not. And so that's the second question is let's get conspiratorial here for a minute.
Boy.
Are we fighting a business or are we fighting a religion? Yeah, no, that's a deep one, just out of nowhere. Is the left a business?
I think
Is Globo Homo, I guess. Is that a business or is it a religion?
I think at a certain point, it ceases to be a business because there's no more money needed, right? So once you hit a certain number, whatever that number is, you then have, because money is status.
Right.
You get that status, and there is no, I mean, it's negligible at best at a certain point, and so then it becomes an ideology, right? You have to have influence and status in another way because the money doesn't do that for you. And so, yes, it is still a business, but the currency is ideology and influence.
I always find myself wondering. I don't have a great answer. I don't know that I really. I think my answer would be I think it's both, paradoxically, at the same time, of course. And you have, I don't know, you can clearly see the religious side of it in some of these Antifa people. What I've always wondered is the people at the top of whatever Globo Homo is. I have a lot of trouble believing they're highly emotional religious people. In my head, they don't care at all. They're just devoid of emotion to the point of being what we call evil. Maybe. And the attraction, I think I totally agree with you. It's not you hit a certain point of money, and it was never about the money. The one word I've always settled on is control. Above power. So I've heard a lot of people say it's not about money, it's about power. But that doesn't really answer any questions in my head about power. Power for what? Why do you want power? Well, you want it so you can control things. There's a whole nother interesting question beyond that. Well, why would someone have such a desperate need to control things? Well, I have theories that they were getting butt
Well,
raped.
I'll take you one further. I agree with you. It is about control. But back to the status issue, I think the more control you have, the higher status you have. And that's what these people are fighting. They're fighting for higher status, more control.
Well, what would you place status above control or control above status?
I think I think status is defined by how much control you have.
That's interesting. I see a couple anecdotal things to poke holes in that. For example, like LeBron James has a lot of status.
And he has a school to influence kids in what, New
I
York,
don't know how
Chicago,
much
whatever.
control. I
So
find it hard to believe he has control over anything at all, including what clothes he wears. You think he does? You think
yeah, but
he's
you don't think he has the influence?
I think he
I
has the
mean,
influence, but I think he's a retarded tool that gets wielded by intelligent people. He's a puppet.
yeah,
He's
but
like,
influence is just soft control.
well, so I mean, if you have influence, there's been lots of these people. Like Michael Jackson is a good example.
So
or
you're saying he's partially astroturf to the point where he's being used.
I think he's totally being used. I find it impossible to believe LeBron James is a neuron in the brain, so to speak. I think he's a muscle fiber in the arm.
I
As a
don't
To use a metaphor.
I don't know if I would say he's completely being used. I definitely think he believes in a lot of what he does.
Well, let me throw out the most salient example of these type of people right now is Kanye West. So you've seen all the shenanigans going, yeah, down to the text messages from Harley Pasternak, his handler. Do you remember those? Did you see that?
Um, yeah, I think I caught a glimpse of him, dude.
Where he
I kind of gave up on Kanye a while back,
Oh,
so
he's
I just
totally been broken for sure, and now he's just going through his bipolar. He's like a slowly exploding star, is what he's going through. It's going to go down epically one way or another. But I just mean, he was the number one musical artist in terms of influence, using that word. But I think he quite clearly has almost zero control over what he wants to do. Or at least there's somebody above him, and we know a name, Harley Pasternak. Let me pull that up here. But
well, I mean, you say yeah, you say control, and I can agree that he's controlled. Uh, and I'm not saying status among.
here it is.
I'm not saying they strive for status among the populace. They strive for status among each other, right? So if he
Oh,
has
for
a
sure.
handler, that handler has that status.
Well, so
And I
now
don't think they really care what we think. They care what each other think at that level.
here I'm going to read quickly the text Harley Pasternak sent to Kanye West. It says, "I'm going to help you one of a couple ways. First, you and I sit down and have a loving and open conversation, but you don't use cuss words, and everything that is discussed is based in fact and not some crazy stuff that dumb friend of yours told you or you saw in a tweet. Second option, I have you institutionalized again, where they medicate the crap out of you and you go back to zombie land forever. Playdate with the kids just won't be the same." So this is a real text that we know really was sent from his Jewish personal trainer to Kanye West when he was trying to
Well,
initially.
that's the same thing Cat Williams says, same thing Dave Chappelle says. I mean,
Well, so that's what I mean. I think that we got to separate influence and control. I think the influencers almost always don't have control. And honestly, if I was taking over the world, that's exactly how I would do it. I would get dumb idiots that were loud and I'd send them out there to soak up all the bullets. I mean, you see how these famous
yeah, but then you
influencers
do
get
see people.
recycled. Say it,
Yeah,
sorry,
but
go again.
they do. Then you do see people break free, like Dave Chappelle. I mean, he's obviously been ostracized and been put out there as the handler
He's a
says.
great
You know, but
example. Great case study, yeah. But I mean, again, I don't think it's so black and white. I'm using a very simplified model of saying Kanye is totally controlled. Harley Pasternak has all the control. I don't believe that. There's clearly some overlap. And honestly, if you've ever tried to control anything, sometimes you control it by not controlling it. Like you have kids, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, like sometimes you gotta be a dictator, but sometimes if you want them to do a certain thing, you actually get them to do that by not controlling them. Um, I found anyway. I'm trying to think of a good example. Here's my favorite. Here's a great example of this. Jerry West, who was the guy in the NBA logo, I believe, right? White dude.
Yeah.
I have internet. We can have a little picture story here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right.
Uh, nope. You know what? I'm thinking of the wrong guy. It's Pistol Pete Maravich. Yeah, that's him. Pistol Pete Maravich, NBA player, probably the greatest ball handler of all time, although you'll never hear anybody today say that. When he was a young kid, his dad was a great basketball player. His dad used to make him sit in his house, look out the window, and watch his dad play basketball. And then his dad would ask, like, it's the most fun thing he's ever done in his life. And of course, this guy's like, well, damn, I want to play basketball. And his dad's like, nope. And he made him do that till he was like 7 years old. And then he just stopped telling him he couldn't. And this dude just busted out of the house and never stopped playing basketball again and became incredible. And so what I mean by that is his dad had quite a genius idea, which was number one, make basketball look fun as shit. Number two, don't let his son participate. And then he didn't have to control basketball ever again. The kid just did it. All he wanted to do was play basketball. So I don't know. I find you can do that things to kids. I think our government tries to do that to us. It's like you can't smoke weed, you can't smoke weed, you can't smoke weed. Weed's legal.
You can't be anti-Semitic.
It's just,
Anti-Semitic.
well, yeah. And then so I kind of feel like they're trying to spin the
It's like
latter
don't
one.
press.
You
It's
just,
like don't press the red button.
well,
And so
that's,
all you think from then on is I'm gonna press that button, or I'm
yeah.
gonna pull that fire alarm. You know.
So the whole, I don't have an answer. I don't know how all these control mechanisms work. I think, like LeBron, so to your point, it's not so black and white. He does
Yeah,
have choices. He makes choices.
I don't necessarily disagree with you. I do think there's levels to it, though. I don't think at LeBron's level, LeBron's not at the top, right?
Right. So that becomes the
So the
question when you
top is the
investigate.
status.
Yeah, who is
I
at the
think I
top?
think is where the status.
You know,
Well, I mean,
look
you
the
see names
NBA
floated like
commissioner.
yeah, see names floated like George Soros. Like, who really is George Soros? He's just a puppet master, and I think that's where the status comes from. Who is the greatest puppet master? And they know each other.
Yeah, and so that's a great point I was about to say is there only one or is there more like there's 20 of them that are sort of equals that have divided up the world into territories or something like that.
Well, wasn't it George Carlton said, it's one big club and you're not in it. But I mean, not only are you not in it, but you don't even know the people that are in it.
Yes, and then I mean there used to be a time in the not too distant, I consider a few hundred years ago, not too long ago, but you couldn't hide so easily as you can now. And I mean if they have total control over the government, what's to stop them from just creating totally fake identities from day one? Like they could that's what I would do. If I ran the world, I would just make on paper 100 different random identities that I could drop into as needed. Like why would you not do that if you controlled like social security numbers, tax history, fucking anything? It's probably easier than that. You probably have access to people that died with no relatives and then you can just drop into their identity. That's gotten trickier now with pictures and stuff like that, but then here comes AI to retroactively change whatever you want.
Well, isn't that what Candace Owens is accused of Macron for doing, or his wife?
I was,
Or for,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And even there's still evidence of her, but like 100 years from now, the next tranny president's wife, you're never going to be able to go find out. You know what I mean? There'll be a real, provable, verified history that she was always a woman because they just will be able to make it. They probably made them all right now to.
yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that they do. I mean, the CIA's been doing it since what, the 40s. I mean, I know you say there's a little bit more technology now, but I mean, not really. How hard is it to
Yeah,
create
it doesn't seem like it would
and
be that hard.
change the date on back end
Yeah.
profiles?
I mean, just make up whole people. Why couldn't you do that? I don't see any reason why you couldn't. Quickly, to the audience, we learned this last time, so I noticed we had a few drop frames there, but it seems to not, it stopped, so that's just a random glitch that is going to happen here and there. However, we learned your video might be by default set to like 480 or even 360. If you click the little thing, you should be able to get 1080, 60 frames a second, no problem on this stream. So if it looks a little crappy to you or weird, change your setting to 1080 60p, which it should do automatically, but it doesn't. And I'm not the only channel, but just FYI, much more enjoyable in full HD. So I'd really appreciate you joining. Let me pull up the 3cc here real quick. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, not Pistol Pete Maravich. Third Continental Congress. The delegates. Here is Zeb in South Carolina. There's me and the Deacon. I really got to call the Deacon. I think he's healed, but then he disappeared into the woods. So I think he should be back. Number of states I saw in there. We'll get a New Jersey guy in here shortly. Zeb's the only one in South Carolina. So say you're in South Carolina, you don't go, oh shit, I can't do it. Yeah, we'll get you in there. Maybe you're in a different part of it. We'll break these states down however we need to. But this is designed to promote you if you make stuff or just share ideas. And if you don't want to show your face like Zeb is doing over here, the magazine, brand spanking new, only 3 articles have been written so far. This is all very easy to do. Everything it involves is free programs, of which there's like Zoom. It's pretty much the only one you need, or WordPress if you write articles. So please check this out and take a look. And then what you get out of that is, oh, you're disappearing there, Zeb. You need a lunch break? Have you got your lunch yet? Were you going to get a sandwich?
No, give me 1 second.
All right.
No, I actually got some Zaxby's right here, but I'm good.
I'll carry it for a minute. Also, support the channel, the merch store. This is through YouTube, the one I am wearing. Oh, I guess. I'm trying to promote stuff just because you need to. The store, here we go. So this is John Ward branded merch. It's honestly some pretty nice stuff, frankly. Pretty happy with it. But then also on 3cc over in the store here, we have Dodger, another one of our delegates who has made some stuff, and he's even making like per episode. So we had that stupid Bill episode. I might buy this one. I actually really like that mug. But then the generic, the main flagship logo type products and things like that. So if you want to support it, there it is. Been looking at some Stormy Daniels yesterday. That was hilarious. Quick stream health check. Yeah, pretty solid. 0.06 frames, and they were all kind of. I don't know what is going on with that. Getting a little tired of it. But let's take a look at the chat here for a second, which should also be highlighting you if you're a channel member right there, like Circle Jerk 3cc. You should also get your name colored and your badge. The badge changes colors after a set amount of time. So after 6 months, you get the white badge. And I saw one in here. I don't know if he's still in here. If you want to drop that hot white badge on us. But Rumble appears to be working, and Rumble apparently gives you little things there like fart whiff. And then not seeing a lot of X chats. Let me just check that here real quick. Today's stream was mostly about I honestly thought we would be massively attacked here. And I've been in a very friendly way, dropping hints that like I ain't playing this year, and I already know. And it's just maybe not something to get involved in, but they probably will anyway. What am I doing? What was I pulling up?
Extreme.
Oh, someday we'll get a producer in here. There it is. X. Yes. Okay. So that is definitely what it is. The X chat has to be active, which is unbearably stupid. Has to be an active window or it doesn't work. Because there you all just popped up.
Yeah, they're in X.
X's live stream connection is fucking weird.
Just give Elon some time, man. It ain't even been a year yet.
What's that?
I said give Elon some time.
No, he's I'm pretty impressed, honestly. But he has have you tried the spaces yet?
Yeah, I've listened to a couple spaces.
Well, so like the spaces to me you ought to be able to throw the video we're broadcasting now right into there, but you can't do that because your audio's got to go through your phone. It's a weird setup. And then they do have a live stream thing, which we have going on X right now, which I like, but then everybody thinks they ought to be watching Spaces. So God knows what's going on there. But again, I appreciate you joining us. Merch, things like that. Let me get 3CC back up here real quick. Nope. There it is. All right, so the
Yeah,
way to get
it's
involved here is to join the Gilded right there. There's a link right to it. It is a free app. It's just like Discord, but it's free. And the reason I do that is because I have like 100,000 emails from people I just don't have the time to go through. And also, I've answered too many emails and never heard anything back. So you put in the time to get in this group, send me a direct message there. I will get you on here. Sooner or later, I'd like for somebody else to take all this over, but first, we want to get it all yellow. Oh, we should have a Hawaii guy in there. I redid this map, Jack. Sorry about that. I'm aware you exist. So anyway. Oh, is it a nice, sunny, beautiful day down there in South Carolina today? We finally got some good weather.
it's nice, sunny, and hot for sure.
When do you guys start planning down there? Do you know?
Um,
For us, it's Memorial Day.
it's about the same time.
Is it?
It'll be a week after Memorial Day, I
So you
believe.
still get frost down there that late into the year?
No, what are you trying to plant?
I don't know. I'm not a great gardener or nothing. I just know that that's the cutoff is you plant before Memorial Day, you're running a frost risk. That's why they wait.
No, dude, we don't get frost after like February.
That's what I was thinking.
I guess it depends on what you're planting.
Yeah, that's true too. Like I said, I don't know what I'm
You grow
talking
corn,
about.
tobacco, cotton, soybean.
I
A lot
heard
of
tobacco
soybean.
grows well in Pennsylvania, and I'm damn tempted.
Well, I don't see tobacco much anymore. They have all been bought out by subsidies from the government.
Yeah. Who owns those now? No, I'm kidding. Don't
Oh,
answer.
Joe Biden just vetoed the menthol cigarette ban.
Oh yeah, obviously. That ain't getting banned in an election year. No way. Not by a Democrat.
80%, man. 80%.
I'm happy about it. I smoke menthols.
Do you actually?
Yeah, this is white face paint, dude. I can't believe no one's called me out on that yet. Don't laugh.
I'll send you some cigars or something.
Like South Carolina native ones? Like hand rolled South Carolina tobacco?
Nicaragua.
Okay, good.
I have some actual Cubans. I spent some time in Cuba.
In the military?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which side of the fence of Guantanamo? Were you in the cell or on the outside of it?
The good side. I guess I was in Guantanamo, but
I figured that's why. Yeah, where else would you be in Cuba as in the military? Assassinating someone?
yeah, I think Obama partially opened it up in 2015,
That whole
14,
there's what all
like right after I left.
Cuba's a bizarre. That's a whole part of this puzzle. Castro and Che and Kennedy. Oh, just
Yes.
it's all one giant mess of a story. Let me pull up the chat here real quick. We are what time did we start? 12:30. And I think we're going about an hour and we've had no. Oh, my doc likes to do that once in a while. But as far as I can tell, we really have had quite a good stream. Quality wise, frame dropping wise. Don't really know what that's about. I've set up some cameras around the building. Some little tiny miniature Wi-Fi cameras. So if anybody comes back around, I don't think anything's happening locally, but I'm checking. So that'll be fun. I've always wanted, Zeb, to catch somebody fucking with my shit. I've never been lucky enough to catch somebody. I really never had my shit fucked with that bad. But
How are you gonna
goddamn,
catch him,
one of
dude?
the greatest feelings I gotta believe has gotta be one of the greatest feelings in the world is like you turn on your Ring camera and someone's picking up your Amazon package. I'm like, oh my God. That's all I've always hoped for.
Dude, Ring cameras are definitely one of the greatest inventions of all time.
Although technically you can't just go blast them on your front porch anymore, can you? You probably can in South Carolina. If they're holding your Amazon
They're
box,
everywhere here.
if they're holding your box, you can shoot them, right? You can't.
No.
You can't. I can. I've deceptive property lines, so it always seems like you're not on the property, but you actually are. So that I can shoot people is what I'm
I'm
getting
pretty
at.
sure we have a I mean, you would be fine where I live, but I don't think you can shoot them unless you're in your house.
Yeah, I've been really trying. How do I get? I think I need to set out a bait Amazon package that has like a string on a winch, so that when they try to steal it, it like winches it into the front door. Because once they're in the door, then you definitely can. So just like a little, just like, and they just look up,
Oh
and
no,
they're in my mud room, which is
that's
covered
going to
in
be
plastic.
a brutal trial
My
if you
mud
try
room
to
is in a
defend yourself
permanent
from that
state of
one.
a mafia kill room. All my friends like, why is your fucking mud room just got plastic curtains hanging everywhere? I say, they're not for you, don't worry. It's a quick cleanup. Haven't you ever painted a house? Come on. All right, Zeb, I'm manufacturing stuff. I have accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, which is making sure that this all worked, which, other than OBS getting, there it is. Yeah, 0.4%. I'm pretty fucking happy with that, honestly. Personally, quickly, between me and you, so you've been great. You're in the Gilded. That's how you became a delegate for South Carolina, and you appear to be somewhat available around these times of day during the week. Is that true?
Usually, yes.
Usually.
I mean, I work for myself, have a few businesses,
I
but
know you got all, and you're getting your channel revamped and all of that, and I don't want to throw anybody your links and stuff before you're ready for them, so I'm holding off on that. But I would very
it's
much
coming.
go ahead.
I am working on something else too. So my grandma's 90 years old, and my cousins, which be her nephews, have been interested in their great grandparents. So what I'm doing with her is getting her to kind of lay out some stories, tell some stories about her growing up and her dad, and which he had her later on in life. So he was born in like the 1890s, and so I'm gonna try to preserve a little bit of tradition and culture through that. Film her and start her a
That's
channel too.
awesome.
So we'll drop those links
I would
for
like to
tonight
watch that
also.
on it. I think there's value in that stuff, even if you're willing to share it beyond just a family member. But of the very limited amount of content I do consume, it's often stuff like that. Listening to old films of old people, like you can watch. There's a film on YouTube of Civil War veterans, one from each side, talking to each other. I don't know if you know that. And so that's incredible what you're doing. There's huge value in that. I think there's going to be a bunch of families in 300 years where the smart ones, I wish my great grandparents had done something like that. Why didn't you do something like that? And I would give anything to watch that level of quality content on somebody in my family from 100 years ago or later. That's really cool. So,
Yeah,
where would
it's definitely
we,
different.
so that's private, you said, or you are going to post that?
So I filmed the first one yesterday, and so we're just gonna do probably 45 minutes, hour at a time, and try to shoot for once a week. Once a week is a lot, but no, I don't have the channel created or anything.
Okay.
It's gonna be slightly edited and very minimal.
Take your
Multiple
time.
angles, but um, probably in the next week or so, I'll have something up and we can look at.
Very cool. We'll take a look. If you would like to do what Zeb is doing, even if the state is taken here that we're looking at, you still can. You join the Gilded, which is free download program. Oh, I gotta actually go to my internet here so that will move around. Well, I guess you get the idea. I've clicked on it enough times, but yeah, a lot of white states still. Not taken states. Hawaii, there we do have a guy down there. But all the instructions, which are very brief, are right there. Strongly encourage you to get involved. I see a message right now in the Gilded. Awesome. And final double check. No more drop frames, so 0.4. I don't know what's going on with that, honestly, frankly. But it seems to be working, and we're no longer gonna tolerate the shenanigans. Although we will remain polite for some time. But that's only superficial from here on out. So Zeb, I think I'm gonna cut out and go grab me a snack. Unless you have anything further to promote, or any insights or hot knowledge or esoteric knowledge that you wanted to drop on us. My main question is, how do you take care of that mustache?
I don't know, man. I had to shave it about 3 months ago, so I'm just now growing it back
It's
out.
just
Hopefully,
coming back. Is it gonna
yeah,
get
it's
like?
just coming back. I just you got to train it up a little bit for the first like month or so,
Are you gonna be
and then after that,
like a Southern Confederate Civil War like cavalry officer here in a few months?
I'm gonna let
Da-
it grow, man. Whatever it gives me, I'm gonna take it.
you're damn close. You even got a little bit of the pointy the whole look you got. There's a name for that, and I can't remember what it's called. Isn't?
Oh, it's a very Czar necklace, the second type
Yeah,
setup.
yeah, that's exactly what it is. All right, well, don't get caught with your family in any basements with any Bolsheviks.
No, I'm not gonna abdicate my throne, but we'll be fine.
All right, we're gonna take off. Let me take a look here one more time at the chat. Thank you for joining us, Zeb. But Circle Jerk 3CC, the member, I see some people are having some conversations. I did try to update the chat, so if people talk to each other, it will give a little reminder so I don't accidentally read those comments anymore. Bad Daddy, welcome. Markets and Moto, welcome back. Sign up. Got to get signed up to rep West Virginia. We'd love to have you. It's not a time crunch. Take your time. Within a given week, we'll have one test call, which I'll get that scheduled again now that the internet seems to be working. What is it, Wednesday? So let's say tentatively, if you are free tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, something like that, send me a message in the Discord. Let me catch everybody else that has joined us today. John Volts, thanks for joining. Dodger out there on X, take it easy, man. I will join another one of your streams here as soon as possible. Jake Jakerson over on Rumble. Crow Nick, welcome back. Thanks for joining. We'll try to dial in a exact time we start during the week, but I am going to probably try to do one every day here, just even for the sake of seeing how well it works. But I quite like these mid-afternoon live streams with you guys. You can flip it on during your lunch break, and we should always be able to have somebody from somewhere. We get more used to talking to each other and things stay consistent technically. These can start getting real fast and a lot more entertaining. I have been practicing hosting to some degree on my own. If you are able to support the channel, we would appreciate it. This would be a good one to get in your local gang colors. We're trying to figure out a way to produce these hats ourselves. Only my best on every single one and your own little meme underneath it. So I got to get one and send it to Zeb now. But we may be back a little later if anything interesting goes on. Other than that, we're going to get back to our cheating voter fraud lawsuit here in our neck of the woods. Gilded, join it, merch, support it. There's a book out there somewhere. There's music. There's hidden content. If you're familiar with Greek mythology, that's it. That is it for today. I am John Ward, and until next time, remember, you're a world champion. Don't let your memes be dreams. First time.